When Marcus turned 35, he sat down with a financial advisor and calculated his retirement number. Based on his lifestyle at the time, a modest apartment, a reliable car, reasonable spending habits, he needed $1.2 million to retire comfortably at 65. That felt achievable. He made $72,000 a year, was already contributing to his 401k, and had time on his side. He left that meeting feeling hopeful. He had a target. He had a plan. 10 years later, Marcus is 45. He now makes $138,000, nearly double his previous salary. He should be ahead of schedule. Instead, he just recalculated his retirement number with the same advisor. The new target is $2.4 million. Somehow, despite his income almost doubling, his goal also doubled. He is no closer to retirement than he was a decade ago. What happened? Marcus upgraded his apartment to a house with a mortgage 3 times higher. He traded his reliable sedan for a luxury SUV with a $500 monthly payment. He started taking 2 international vacations a year instead of 1 domestic trip. He joined a golf club. He developed a taste for wine that did not come from a box. He subscribed to services that did not exist 10 years ago. Each upgrade felt earned. Each one felt reasonable at the time, but collectively, they did not just consume his raises. They redefined what enough meant for his retirement. The goalposts moved exactly as fast as he ran toward them. And here's the part that keeps Marcus up at night. He is now 10 years closer to retirement with no more financial security than he had at 35. He ran as hard as he could and ended up in the same place. My name is Bobby, and I spent way too much time thinking about why high earners still feel perpetually unprepared for retirement, despite making more money than they ever expected. If you have watched your income rise and somehow still feel behind on your financial goals, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. What I'm about to show you is not just about retirement math. It's about a psychological trap so powerful that it affects nearly everyone, regardless of income level. I call it the retirement mirage, the psychological phenomenon where your definition of enough expands at exactly the same rate as your ability to achieve it, leaving you perpetually chasing a finish line that keeps moving. Look, here's what nobody tells you about retirement planning. The number itself is almost irrelevant until you first lock down your definition of what a comfortable life actually looks like. Most people do retirement calculations backwards. They ask, how much do I need to maintain my current lifestyle? But your current lifestyle is not a fixed point. It's a moving target that expands to consume whatever resources are available to it. This is lifestyle inflation, and it's the silent saboteur of every retirement plan ever created. A 2022 study from the Employee Benefit Research Institute found that 64% of workers feel behind on retirement savings, and this percentage has remained essentially unchanged for over a decade, despite rising wages and a historic bull market. People are earning more, investing more, and still feeling no closer to ready. The math shouldn't work that way unless the goalposts are moving. And they are. According to research from behavioral economists, humans exhibit what is called hedonic adaptation. We quickly adjust to improvements in our circumstances until they feel normal. Then we need new improvements to feel satisfied. The luxury that felt extraordinary last year becomes the baseline this year, and next year you need something even better to generate the same emotional response. This is why lottery winners report the same happiness levels as non-winners within about 18 months of their windfall. The new normal absorbs everything. Applied to retirement, this means your future spending projections are almost always underestimated. You calculate based on today's normal, but by the time you retire, today's luxuries will feel like necessities, and you will have added new luxuries on top. Your 1.2 million target becomes 2.4 million, then 4 million, and the retirement date keeps sliding further away because enough keeps expanding. Here's the thing about the illusion of arrival. We're conditioned to believe in a binary state of existence, working and finished. We think that once we hit a specific number, say $2 million, a switch will flip in our brains and we'll suddenly feel safe, we'll feel complete. But neuroscience tells us this is a lie. The brain is a problem-solving machine. It's not designed for satisfaction, it's designed for adaptation. When you hit $2 million, your brain doesn't release a permanent flood of serotonin. It acclimatizes, it normalizes the 2 million. And then it looks for the next threat. It says, what if the market crashes? What if I live to be 100? 2 million isn't enough. I need 3. The goalpost moves not because the math changed, but because your anxiety needs a new container. You're not chasing a number, you're running away from the fear of uncertainty. This is where it gets frustrating because social media has poured gasoline on a fire that was already burning. Every platform you open sees someone living a more elaborate retirement than you were planning for. The couple traveling the world in permanent vacation mode, the early retirees in their 40s with beachfront properties, the grandparents funding their grandchildren's college while also renovating their lake house. You scroll past these images and something shifts in your subconscious. Suddenly, your own retirement vision, which felt perfectly adequate an hour ago, seems modest, insufficient, even embarrassing. A 2023 survey from Fidelity found that 39% of respondents said social media made them feel worse about their financial situation, and that feeling was strongest when looking at retirement and lifestyle content. You're not comparing your retirement plan to what you actually need. You're comparing it to the curated highlight reels of strangers, many of whom are either exaggerating their situation or are in more debt than they let on. The FOMO doesn't just affect your current spending, it infects your future planning. You start adding things to your retirement vision that were never there before. The second home, the RV for cross-country trips. The ability to spontaneously fly to visit grandchildren whenever you want. Each addition feels reasonable in isolation. Together, they add hundreds of thousands of dollars to your required nest egg, and so the goalposts move again. Not because your needs changed, but because your perceived needs expanded to match images on a screen. I can already hear it. Bobby, are you saying I shouldn't want a nice retirement, that I should lower my standards and live miserably so the math works? That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying there's a difference between intentionally choosing what you want and unconsciously absorbing wants from your environment. Marcus didn't sit down and deliberately decide that golf club membership was essential to his happiness. He joined because his colleagues were members, and it seemed like what people at his income level did. He didn't carefully evaluate whether a luxury SUV would genuinely improve his life by $50,000 worth. He upgraded because his neighbor got one and his old car suddenly felt inadequate. Most lifestyle inflation is not chosen, it's absorbed. It seeps in through comparison, through marketing, through the slow normalization of upgrades that felt special when they arrived, but now just feel like the way things are. The question is not whether you deserve a nice retirement. The question is whether your definition of nice is actually yours or whether it's been gradually constructed by external forces that profit from your perpetual dissatisfaction. Let me give you something practical you can actually use. The first step is to define your enough independently of your current lifestyle and completely independently of what you see other people doing. This means sitting down and describing in concrete detail what a satisfying retirement actually looks like based on your values rather than your current consumption level. Where do you actually want to live? Not where would impress people, but where would make you happy? How do you want to spend your days? Not what looks good on Instagram, but what genuinely fulfills you. Most people have never done this exercise. They just assume retirement means maintaining their current life without working, which is a recipe for goalposts moving because their current life keeps upgrading. The second step is to calculate two numbers, your floor and your ceiling. Your floor is the minimum portfolio that would fund a simple but comfortable retirement, housing, food, healthcare, basic entertainment. For many people, this number is shockingly lower than they assume, often under $1 million if they are willing to live modestly. Your ceiling is the maximum you could reasonably justify based on specific chosen upgrades you have deliberately decided are important. The difference between these numbers reveals how much of your retirement anxiety is about actual security versus lifestyle inflation. The third step is to automate your savings at your current income level and refuse to increase your lifestyle when your income increases. Every raise goes directly to savings and investments, not to expanding your normal. This is how you lock in your definition of enough rather than letting it drift upward with every salary bump. It is the only reliable way to ensure that rising income actually translates to earlier retirement rather than more expensive retirement. The fourth step is to curate your inputs ruthlessly. Unfollow the accounts showing lavish retirement lifestyles. Stop reading articles about what wealthy retirees spend on travel. Remove the comparison triggers that make your perfectly adequate plan feel insufficient. Your brain cannot distinguish between real peers and internet strangers, so every image of a luxury retirement is recalibrating your expectations upward. Protecting your definition of enough requires controlling what you let in. Here is the story you've been telling yourself. You are responsibly planning for retirement by calculating what you need to maintain your lifestyle. That sounds prudent. That sounds like what a financially responsible adult does. But there's another way to see it. If your lifestyle keeps expanding, you are not calculating retirement. You're calculating how to fund permanent lifestyle inflation forever. You're not building toward a finish line. You're chasing a horizon that moves away from you at exactly the speed you approach it. Marcus is not failing at retirement planning because he did not save enough. He's failing because he never locked down what enough actually meant. He let the definition drift, upgrade by upgrade, comparison by comparison, until his excellent income became barely adequate for his ever-expanding needs. He is running on a hedonic treadmill and wondering why he's not getting anywhere. You can run faster, earn more, save more, invest more aggressively, or you can get off the treadmill. You can define your enough, rock it in, and watch with satisfaction as your savings actually close the gap, rather than just keeping pace with your expanding desires. The retirement mirage only works if you keep chasing it. The moment you stop letting external forces define what you need, the mirage disappears and a real achievable finish line comes into focus. I have gone down this rabbit hole so you get the shortcut. If you're seeing this differently now, hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Next.